Okay. Alright. We gotta add God, dude. God. Add Earth 2? Well, you're right. Earth 2. Earth 2 is basically like Earth, except it is a parallel version of it. It's pretty cool and has cool people, but it is also hyper violent. Change generation type? Place. Earth 2 is also just one country. Called America. Click generate. There are no other countries or continents on Earth 2. The only other thing that differs from Earth 1 is the fact that there are no animals there. All life on Earth 2 is human-made. It includes plants, insects, fish, birds. Also, most of the buildings are made out of metal instead of wood. Finally, all cars have hover technology, so they don't need to stop at red lights. Add the crystals. Oh yeah, true. The 7 crystals of power on Earth are on Earth 2, jealously guarded by a They're not the Chaos Emeralds, dude. Thing. Input text. Add tags in parentheses to further describe the entry. You think it's how the FF16 devs made their game? It's possible. Not the Chaos Emeralds. These 7 crystals of power are required. Must be ingested in order to make one powerful enough to kill God. They are all each guarded by a different guardian, with each guardian more comical and than the last. Okay. Generate. The guardians are a guardian who is a dog that can speak English and has a penchant for eating people's food. 2, a guardian who is a cat that can talk but only speaks in rhyme. Guardian who is a monkey that can't talk but can play the flute. A guardian who is an owl that can fly. Okay. That's not very comical. Hold on. The guardians who are not animals but people are the guardian of the power of light, A young girl who wears a mask and wields a sword made from light itself. She is very cheerful and loves sweets. Guardian of the power of darkness, an old man who wears a black robe and carries a staff made from darkness itself. He's very serious and hates sweets. Wait a second. Hold up. A young woman wearing a red dress and carrying a large flamethrower. She's very energetic and loves candy. Seen a lot of I don't know why they're obsessed with candies. A man who wears a suit made from an old car seat belt. He's always smiling and waving his arms around. An old lady wearing a dress made out of curtains. She talks about how she used to have a dog named Spot. That guy dressed as a clown. He has a huge nose and says, ha ha ha. Okay, now we're getting somewhere, guys. A little girl with pigtails and braces who is always giggling. Her name is Dolly. A giant man-eating plant that lives in a pot on top of a table. He looks like a green bean sprout with teeth. He is also a rapper. Giant pink rabbit wearing a purple hat. We're gonna get rid of the little girl one, guys. Good call. I don't trust this fucking AI, dude. Goku from Dragon Ball Z. Okay. 7. A woman who looks like a hippie. Her hair is currently curly and long. Blah, blah, blah. 7th crystal is hidden somewhere in the world and only someone who can find it. Well, if I get strong enough to defeat God, we don't need that. All of these people must be found and individually defeated or convinced. Render their crystal before the quest to kill God can be completed. And the crystals can be ingested to do so. Did it, guys. Let's generate more about Earth 2, though. Generate. The crystals of power on Earth 2 were created by an ancient race known as the Elder Race. These crystals are powerful enough to destroy entire cities if used it properly, so they're kept in vaults deep underground. Each crystal controls a different aspect of magic, right? If any of these crystals are broken, then the world will be destroyed. Okay. Chaos. Wait, why does this say a thing? Scientists believe that they left their mark on the planet through the creation of the crystals. When the Elder Race disappeared, they took with them the knowledge of how to use magic. After this happened, magic became rare and hard to find. Only a few people had access to it, including the King of Earth 2. Who is the King of Earth 2, man? He was the only person who could use magic without the crystals. However, he lost his powers when he died. Now magic is only used by the military. In the year 2045, the United States government decided to create a new branch of the military. Their goal was to keep peace between the various races living on Earth 2. They needed to make sure that no one would try to invade another country. To do this, they needed someone who would control magic. They found this in the person in the form of a young girl named Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman. All right, hold on. There's not other country. Okay. I'll just backspace for now. What is life like on Earth 2? Well, it isn't too bad. Everyone has jobs and there are schools for everyone. Most people work 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. People usually get paid every 2 weeks. Some people even make more than others. That's why people can afford to buy expensive things while others cannot. But if you want to live in a nice house, then you'll probably need to work hard. Sounds like hell. Dude, parallel Earth. I don't know what Always On does. This is called capitalism. Done.
You feel a sense of dread in the pit of your stomach. You know that your mission is to kill God. It's an impossible task, but one that you know you must complete. The universe will collapse in on itself if you do not. You wonder what it will take to achieve your goal. You feel like you must have some sort of power to overcome this adversity. You wonder how you can become a hero that is strong enough to defeat God, when you have never been able to do anything to save yourself in the past.
How do I make an entry for myself? Oh, I see. Okay. Keyword you? You. Person. You. Me. The main character, the player. Let's generate some information about ourselves, guys. The main protagonist of Halo Reach is a soldier named John 117. He was born on Earth but grew up in Africa and has been trained as an elite Spartan warrior since childhood. He's also known by his nickname Ghost. He wears armor that resembles the UNSC infantry uniform, which consists of black body armor with red trim around the collar and the sleeves. At least that's what he thought, but it was really a paranoid delusion that was brought on by a schizophrenic. Why is it so hard to spell? Breakdown. What he is now is something else entirely. His armor now looks like this. He really wants me to be John 117, guys. Alright, hang on. We'll be John 117, dude. I don't want to be John 117. Hang on. Let's just generate again. You are a young man named John Smith. You're a student at an unnamed college in New England, and have recently moved into your dorm room. It's late at night and you're sitting on your bed reading a book when suddenly there is a knock at the door. When you open it, you find yourself face to face with a woman dressed in black leather. When you open it, you find yourself floating through the abyss of space between dimensions before eventually being rescued into a place between places by Barack Obama, a president from Earth of America. Generate. He tells you that he has been sent to rescue you because you're chosen for something called The Quest. The Quest, as you learn, is a game created by God himself who has decided to test humanity. The only way to win this game is to save the world from destruction. This is to collect the 7 crystals to kill God himself. What? You must travel around the world fighting monsters, solving puzzles, and collecting items along the way. Along the way, you'll meet many characters, some good and some evil, some you can trust and some you cannot. All will be important to the end game. All combat is to be handled with a D&D 3.5 edition D20 system. Also, Barack Obama will be your constant companion throughout the entirety of this quest. Generate. Oh. Didn't generate anything. Okay. Always on. Next. Send.
How are you going to help Obama in this quest? You need to do something great to impress him. Something like taking the crystal from him and becoming his equal in battle would be good. You hope that he will not be too upset by this idea.
He doesn't have a crystal, guys.
You don't want to be left behind or ignored. He could go anywhere and do anything, but it might be difficult for him to get away from you, since you are so weak and inexperienced.
What?
Do you have a plan? You ask Obama. Obama replies, yes. We will use the power of the 7 crystals of power to amplify our own strength and to bring us closer to our ultimate goal.
Okay.
If we succeed in this quest, then we will be able to kill God. That sounds awesome, you say, but you quickly realize that there are a lot of problems with Obama's plan.
Restart story with the same prompts? Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Good idea. Send.
Before you set out on your quest, you must first learn some magic. This will be done by meeting with a wizard named Jed. To do this, you will have to travel to a town called Sardine.
No. Okay, let's use the prompt for you, guys.
This is a story about how I came to realize the true nature of reality. The first part of the story was like a dream, but the second part of the story was like reality.
Deep.
The first part of the story was like a dream, but the second part of the story was like reality.
Deep.
I am John Smith. I am 17 years old, and I live in a small town in the Northeast United States.
Not 17. I'm 22 years old.
I have just graduated college and moved back into my childhood home with my parents. I am not sure why I moved back. Maybe it was for nostalgia, maybe it was for safety, or maybe it was because of love. Whatever the reason, it felt good to be home again. My father, Mark Smith, is a doctor. He's been a doctor for 27 years. I have always been very close with my father, especially growing up. My mother, Sandra Smith, is a teacher at the local elementary school. She has taught there for 14 years. She is 34 years old. I also have a little brother who is 15 years old. His name is Jack Smith. I graduated from college this year with a bachelor's in computer science. I currently work at a local grocery store. I am not sure why I decided to get a degree in computer science. It just felt right at the time and gave me some extra money. I have been working there for 6 months now. I enjoy it a lot, even though my coworkers can be a little annoying at times.
Why is my mom 34 years old? Oh, we gotta change some of these numbers, guys.
I also have a girlfriend, whom I'm very much in love with. Her name is Anne. She is 23 years old. She is a physical education teacher. We have been dating for 2 years now.
She is a rapper. We have been dating for 2 years now.
She is one of the best things that has ever happened to me. It was a quiet night in the Smith household. The moon was bright in the sky, illuminating the grass outside. A cool breeze blew through the air, carrying the scent of flowers and trees. Inside the house, however, everything was quiet. I sat on the couch, listening to the sound of crickets chirping. A candle flickered in the corner, giving off a warm glow in the otherwise dark living room. I looked up at the clock, noting the time, but it was midnight. I yawned. I was tired, but I didn't want to go to bed. I looked at the clock again. It was 12:30 a.m. I sighed. I wasn't sure what to do with myself. I hadn't seen my girlfriend in days, and I was getting kind of bored. I tried playing a video game, but I just couldn't concentrate on anything. I thought about reading a book, but then I realized that I had finished all the ones I had at home. Finally, I decided that I would go to bed early. Maybe that way I'd have the energy to do something the next day. I turned off the lights in my room, climbed into bed, and closed my eyes. I couldn't wait to see it again in the morning. That's when I realized. I've always wondered if there is some kind of meaning behind our universe. I mean, think about it. We all know that there is a God.
Uh-huh.
And we know that he has created everything in the universe. But what's the point? What's the purpose of it all? If I was God, I'd probably want to create a world where people could be happy and safe. I'd want to make sure that they had everything they needed to live, and then I'd want to make sure that no one was hurting. That's what I think anyway. But then again, maybe it's not what God really wants.
What does he want, man?
Maybe he wants something more than that. Maybe he wants people to suffer so that they can learn from their mistakes. Maybe he wants people to be in pain so that they can grow and become stronger. And if that's true, then it would be a terrible place to live. It's a place where nothing ever goes right. A place where everything seems to go wrong. A place where no matter how hard you try, you can never be happy. It's a world where no one can help you because everyone is too busy looking out for themselves. A world where no one can save you because no one cares about you. A world where nothing matters because no one cares about you. A world of pain and suffering and misery. A world where everything seems to be against you. A world where there is no hope, no salvation, no way out. A world of hopelessness and despair. A world of pain and sorrow. A world of fear and uncertainty. A world without end.
And then I woke up.
And then I woke up. I was in my bedroom, lying in bed. I blinked and looked around. I was in my house. Everything was fine. I let out a sigh of relief. It was just a dream. That's all it was. Just a dream. A dream of a dark and cold place. A dream of a world without light. A dream of a world without love. A dream of a world without hope. A dream of a world where everything seemed to be against me. A dream of a world where no one could help me. A dream of a world where no one cared about me. A dream of a world where I was alone. A dream of a world where everything seemed to be against me. A dream of a world where no one could save me. A dream of a world where I was helpless. A dream of a world where nothing mattered. I didn't want to have any more dreams like this. I didn't want to dream of such a horrible place ever again. I closed my eyes and tried to fall back to sleep. But no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't. I opened my eyes again and looked up at the clock on my nightstand. It was 3:30 a.m. I sighed and got out of bed. I decided to go downstairs and get something to drink. Maybe that will help me sleep. I walked down the hallway and into the kitchen. The clock on the wall told me it was 4:00 a.m. I looked around. Everything seemed quiet. I grabbed a glass and filled it up with water from the sink. I took a sip. It tasted good. I walked back into my room and fell into bed. This time, I was able to go back to sleep. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of my alarm clock going off. I reached over and shut it off. The digital numbers read 7:00 a.m. I yawned and sat up in bed.
3-minute
I got out of
walk
bed and
down
got
the
dressed,
stairs.
and then walked into the kitchen for breakfast. My mother and brother were already there, eating cereal. I joined them at the table. We talked for a while about how our day would be, and then parted ways. I got in my car and drove off to work. It was a quiet morning. No one was out on the street, and there was hardly any traffic. I got in my car, which is a Range Rover, and drove off to work. I parked my car in my usual spot and went inside. My first shift today is at the register. My manager is the assistant manager, but he doesn't do much, so I usually have to do most of the work. I'm okay with that, though. It means that I get to make more money. After work, I usually go home and see Anne, and then go out for dinner and drinks. Tonight, however, I was feeling tired, so instead of going out, I decided to go straight
You gonna cry?
to bed. I got in my car and drove home. I was tired, but I knew that I couldn't just sleep all night long. I needed to get some work done. I put my keys on the table and walked into the kitchen.
What work?
I grabbed a cup and filled it with water, then drank it all at once. I sat down on the couch and turned on the TV. I decided to watch a documentary about the creation of the universe. It's interesting stuff. I'm not sure why people like science so much. I mean, it's not bad or anything, but it's just kind of boring to me.
Personally, I've always found Barack Obama to be more interesting than the creation myth of the universe.
Personally, I've always found Barack Obama to be more interesting than the creation myth of the universe. Anyway, after the documentary ended, I decided that I would go to bed early tonight. I got in bed, closed my eyes, and fell asleep almost instantly. That night, I had another dream.
Okay.
It was a dream of a dark and cold place. A dream of a world without light. A dream of a world without love. A dream of a world without hope. A dream of a world where everything seemed to be against me.
It was about Barack Obama.
He came to me in my sleep and told me that I needed to save the world from destruction.
Mm-hmm.
But how? How could one person do such a thing? Barack told me that it would be hard, but that I could do it if I put my mind to it.
Okay.
He said that it would take time, but that it would be worth it in the end. He also said that it would be dangerous, but that if I didn't try, then nothing would change. And so I decided that I would save the world. But how? The next day, I woke up feeling refreshed. It was 7:30 a.m. I yawned and got out of bed. I got dressed and went downstairs to have breakfast. I didn't see my brother or my mom, so I figured that they were both at work already. I ate my toast and eggs and went outside to my car. The sun was shining in the sky. It was a beautiful day.
Yep.
I drove to work and parked my car in the same spot that I always do. I walked into the building and went to the front desk. The woman behind the desk was an old woman. She looked at me and smiled. "Hello, young man. Are you here for work?" "Yes, ma'am," I replied. "Ah, yes. Well, here's your pass." The woman handed me a blue plastic card on a chain. I put it around my neck and walked towards the back of the building. There were 2 guards there. They were both tall and muscular. I showed them my pass and they let me through. I made my way to the computer room, where my desk was. I sat down and turned on the computer. Then I went to work. It was a good day. I didn't see anything unusual. People came and went from the room, but they never said anything. I was working on my report when I got a call from my brother. He wanted to meet up for lunch. I decided to go to his workplace, a factory where they make cars. He worked at a factory making luxury vehicles, but he was also a rapper. He invited me to a club downtown, but I told him I was busy.
How is he a rapper?
He said that I should come anyway because he had something important to show me. I said okay and hung up the phone. I went back to work and finished my report. It was good. I was proud of it. I put it into the printer and waited for it to print. Then I took it out and signed it. It was a good day, but then the phone rang again. It was Jack, my brother. He wanted to meet up at a club downtown. He had something important to show me. I said okay and hung up the phone. I went to the bathroom, washed my face, and straightened my hair. As I walked down the street towards the club, I couldn't help but feel a little nervous. I hadn't been to a club in a long time, and I was worried about what would happen if I drank too much alcohol. I didn't have a driver's license, so I had to take a cab. It was a long ride, but it gave me some time to think about what was happening. I had just been asked to save the world from destruction.
Oh, yeah. I thought we were just going to the
How
club.
was I supposed to do that? It didn't seem possible. And yet, here I was. It was happening. The truth was, I had no idea what I was doing. But somehow I knew that I had to do it. Somehow I knew that this was my destiny. I had to save the world from destruction, no matter what it took. But how could I? I met Jack at the club.
Wrong button. Close. Hold on. Oh yeah, duh! The quest, dude!
He was sitting in the booth where we always go when we come here. He looked up and smiled when he saw me. "Hey bro, what's up?" he said. "Not much, just work."
Untick always on for the activation keys to work? Why?
I sat down across from him. "So you wanted to tell me something?" Jack nodded. "Yeah, you know that show I'm on." "What show?" I asked. "The one I rapped on," Jack said, sounding a little offended. "Oh, yeah, that one." It's not a show anymore. We canceled it.
No!
What? Why? I asked. The producer said that it was too expensive to keep going. Jack said. So what do we do now? I asked. Well, I've been working on another project. It's a song, but it's for you. Really? I asked. Yes, Jack said. It's called John Smith and the Quest. Here, listen to it.
Okay.
I listened to the song. It was about a man named John Smith who went on an adventure to save the world. He was going to need help, and he was looking for some companions along the way.
Okay.
It was a great song. I thought it was the best thing I had ever heard. When it was over, Jack looked at me. What do you think? He asked. I couldn't help but laugh. What's so funny? He asked. Nothing, I replied, trying to control myself.
Why are you laughing
It's
at
just,
him?
I can't believe you made that. I know, right? Jack said. Well, it's great, I said. It's really great. Jack smiled. Thank you, he said. We talked a little more about the song and about Jack's career. Then we got up to dance. It was a lot of fun. After that, I went home. I lay in bed and thought about the quest. It was going to be hard, but I was determined. I wasn't going to let anything stop me. I had to save the world. The next day, I woke up feeling refreshed. I got out of bed and got dressed. I went to the kitchen, where my mom and brother were eating breakfast. They looked at me when I walked in. Hi, sweetie, how are you? My mother asked. I'm fine, I replied, sitting down. My mom smiled. Good, she said. My brother stared at me with a blank expression on his face. Jack, stop staring at your brother, my mom said. My brother blinked and turned away from me. I sighed. I ate breakfast with my mom and brother. When I was done, I went to work.
Another day at the job, boys.
I sat in my chair and started typing on the keyboard. I was deep in thought when someone tapped me on the shoulder. I jumped up, startled. Oh, I'm sorry, the man said. I didn't mean to scare you. I smiled. That's okay. It's my fault, I replied. Are you sure? I didn't mean to. It's okay, I interrupted him.
The man was Barack Obama.
The man was Barack Obama. He smiled at me, and then walked away. I watched him go. He seemed different somehow. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Barack Obama, what was he doing here? I went back to work. I was deep in thought when I felt a tap on my shoulder. I jumped up, startled. Oh, I'm sorry, the man said.
Sorry for what? I asked. Our daddy taught us not to be ashamed of our dicks. Our shoulder tapping.
Sorry for what? I asked. Our daddy taught us not to be ashamed of our shoulder tapping. Oh, okay, the man said, and then walked away. I sat back down and went back to work. I was deep in thought when the phone rang. I jumped up, startled. Hello? I said, picking it up. Hey, John, my mom said. Just wanted to let you know that I'll be home late tonight. I have a lot of paperwork to do. I sighed. Okay, Mom, I replied.
I
"I'll see you
sighed.
later." I hung up the phone. I sighed. I went back to work. I was deep in thought when the phone rang again. Hello? I said. Hello, this is the President of the United States of America. Is John Smith there? Oh, yes, sir. Oh, good. Listen, Mr. Smith, I need you to go to the White House immediately. Do you
Okay.
think you can do that? I think so, but I don't think I can get there until tomorrow.
The voice on the phone said, just walk into your bathroom, the bathroom there, and step onto the teleportation pad. That should take you to Washington, D.C. in a matter of seconds.
The voice on the phone said, just walk into the bathroom there and step onto the teleportation pad. That should take you to Washington, D.C. in a matter of seconds.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
But how will
I'll
I get
do
home?
that
Just
right
step onto the
away.
teleportation pad and it will take you back to
That
your
way
hometown.
I can meet
I
with
sat
the
down and thought about what I had
president
just heard.
of the United States.
Great. You should have no problem getting in. I'm sorry, but I have to go now. All right. Goodbye, Mr. President. I hung up the phone. I was standing in the bathroom of a store. It was nighttime, and I was feeling a little nervous. I had never teleported before, and it scared me a little. Hey, John, a voice said. I turned around to see Barack Obama. He was standing next to me. Hey, are you ready to go? Yeah. I nodded, and we stepped onto the teleportation pad together.
Nice.
In an instant, we were standing in Washington, D.C. Whoa, that was awesome, I exclaimed. I know, Barack said. Come on, we're late for the meeting. Right, I replied, following him towards the White House. We walked through the front door and into the office of the president. I sat down on a chair while Bear talked with the president. He asked me what I was going to do, and I told him that I was going to save the world. Then the president spoke to us. He told us that we had been chosen to take part in the quest. The quest was a game created by God. The goal was to kill him. Why would we want to kill God? I asked. Because he is evil, the president said. I was shocked.
Oh my God!
But why? The president looked at me. I don't understand. You don't want to save the world? I shook my head. No.
No, that's not it. I'm just surprised to learn that God is evil. I most certainly do want to go on the quest.
Well, that's great. But before you can do that, you'll need to go through an initiation ceremony.
Oh.
Initiation? What do you mean? It's like a test to see if you're worthy of the quest, the president said.
Okay.
But don't worry, it's nothing you can't handle. I was confused. I didn't know what was happening. The president went on to explain that the initiation ceremony would take place tomorrow night, after everyone had left work for the day.
You nodded and headed to a nearby hotel where you slept until the exact moment that the initiation ceremony would begin. You head from your hotel to the place that the president had declared would be the spot of the ceremony itself.
You nodded and headed to a nearby hotel, where you slept until the exact moment that the initiation ceremony would begin. You head from your hotel to the place that the president had declared would be the spot of the ceremony itself. There you meet two people who would guide you through the process, a man and a woman. They tell you to follow them and do as they say. And so, you go. You walk through the dark streets of the city. You see a man and a woman walking ahead of you. They seem to be heading in the same direction that you are. You follow them, unsure of what is about to happen. You feel nervous, but you keep going. After a while, you arrive at a building. The two people stop and tell you that this is the place where you must be initiated into the quest. You go inside with them and find a room that seems to be empty. But then you notice something odd. A pedestal with 7 glowing crystals on top of it.
What?
What are these crystals? You reach out to touch one, but the man says, "No, don't." And you pull away quickly. You look at him. "What are you doing?" You ask. He doesn't answer. You stare at him. You wait, but he does not respond. "You must follow my instructions," he says. "This is the only way to complete the quest." You nod. You do not trust this man. He seems strange. Good. Now, listen closely. You must eat these crystals in order to become powerful enough to kill God. But be warned, each one will kill you if you eat it, and you will not be able to revive yourself if you do.
What? Then how do I eat them if they kill me when I eat them? You ask.
Then how do I eat them if they kill me when I eat them? You ask. The man says, "That is why I am here. You need to follow my instructions." You nod. You do not trust this man. You know that something is wrong. You want to get away from him, but he holds you back.
So, you do what any college-educated New England man with a black belt in jiu-jitsu would do and snap his neck.
So, you do what any college-educated New England man with a black belt in jiu-jitsu would do and snap his neck. You walk away and find a woman waiting for you. She looks at you with her big, blue eyes. "I have been waiting for you," she says. "Who are you?" You ask. "My name is Anne. I've come to help you." "What do I do?" "I know what you need to do." "What is it?"
They don't know.
"You must go to a place called God's Gate and enter it." "How will I do that?" "I don't know. You just have to trust me." "Why should I?" "Because I care about you." You pause. You trust her. You decide to follow Anne. She takes you to a house. It is small, but it has a blue door that is locked. You knock on the door. There is no response. What do I do now? N says, we need to get inside. But how? Let me try. She knocks on the door and shouts, I'm Anne. Open up. I'm with John. The door opens slowly. You see a young man with brown hair and blue eyes. John, he says. Yes, you say. The man says, I thought you were dead. You tell him that he must be mistaken. You say, Anne has brought me here. He looks at Anne and nods. He turns to you and says, welcome to my house. He steps aside so you can enter. Anne walks in, followed by the man, and then closes the door. You are now inside. The man introduces himself as Michael. Michael tells you that he is here to help you. You say, so what do I have to do? Michael explains that he knows how to open a gate. He pulls out a key and hands it to you. Here you go, mate. Here's the key to open God's gate. Good luck. But what if I lose it? You ask. Then just find another one. It's easy, mate. Okay, thanks. Michael nods. He points to a map of God's gate that is on the table in front of you. He says, look here, mate. See the entrance to God's gate? Yes. That's where we're going. We must get there before anyone else does. Why? Because it's dangerous to go there. There's monsters. Monsters? You ask. Like, actual monsters? Yes, real monsters. Michael says, and you can't fight them. How do we get there then? There's a train, but we'll have to find tickets. The ticket office is in the next town over. I see. Well, let's go. You and Michael go outside. You look around for the train.
It's so convoluted.
It should be here, Michael says.
We didn't give it enough direction, guys. I don't really understand the tags. So whenever these phrases are mentioned, it should take from here when talking about them, but Obama didn't say let me be clear one time. Also, there was no mention of the Guardians. Why? And yeah, Anne's my GF too. Although that's not in here, so it wouldn't have been recorded anyway. You need to do it in memory, not lore book. Where's memory? Hey yo, where memory at, bruh? Right tab? Oh. Novel AI is a pretty small model. You gotta direct a lot. Yeah, I just wasn't doing it right, is my point. It's not the thing's fault, it's my fault. Also, I'm done, guys. Thanks for watching my stream. Deeper Agenda, thanks for subbing. The Walking Tyler, Fog Doggy, thanks for subbing. Zigzag Mike, Milk, please, thanks for subbing. Author's note is stuff that will heavily influence the story in prose. Hey, what do I think about? Bitch, I don't think. Okay, well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I had fun today. Today was a good stream. I got a little headache. So I'm gonna go take a shower and inhale some steam. What's the conclusion to Barack and the 7 crystals? You know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm going to make a story tonight, and then we'll go through it tomorrow. Or I won't, but I kind of feel like doing it, so. It's like a 60% chance it happens. If I start the stream on Novel AI, then it happened. Okay. If not, then you can't get mad. Okay, bye.